Hugo, well done. 2 goals, 3 points. The perfect day for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say perfect because I know I could score way more today, but obviously the most important was to win in front of our fans, so it's a good day at work, yeah.
Quick start, was that always the plan, to get the early goal?
I mean, the ball came quick. I tried to be ready, but yeah, obviously when you start a game, you don't expect a ball to come at the first minute. But yeah, I try to be always ready, and that's good to start the game with 1-0.
And the second goal, an old-fashioned centre-forward's header from Salah's corner.
Yeah, it gave me a great ball. I just had to be in a good place, and that's what I did, and easy to finish.
You said you should have got more. It might have been a hat-trick, mightn't it, today?
Yeah, I was looking for the hat-trick, but it's going to be another time. But yeah, it's good, 2 goals.
It's been a good week in the end for Liverpool. The club really coming together, a team coming together.
Yeah, I mean, we try to stick together, work together. Even today it wasn't easy. At the end of the game, we have to stay compact, stick together, because when we are in that position, it's difficult to get a result. But yeah, happy today because I think we deserve. We did a great week, and let's continue.
What's the minimum requirement now for Liverpool? Top 4?
When you play for Liverpool, you just have to win games. So hard to answer, but when you see the games coming, we are Liverpool. We need to win.
I guess it's a difficult question to answer when you're defending champions, because top 4 feels good, but you want to go on and win it again. Given the season they've had, they're in 6th, it's not too bad. But that man there, Hugo Ekitike, I mean, it was a very fast start, as was mentioned in the interview. He got on the score sheet really early, 46 seconds.
He's just done really, really well since he's joined Liverpool. He's been one of the shining lights in a difficult season so far. That's not to say the season's going to continue to be difficult, but at the moment, it's been a topsy-turvy season, a little bit inconsistent. He's aware of what can happen. Centre forwards are optimists. They're always thinking, oh, that ball's going into a dangerous... Oh, can I just ghost into a certain area? Defenders don't necessarily think like that. And you just watch him here. He's looking over his shoulder. The ball goes over his head. And he doesn't just jog back to the halfway line. He's thinking, do you know what? I'm in a bit of space here. And then his touch and finish is almost in one movement. And it has to be. Because if he lets that drop any further, he gets tackled. Now, you want to let it drop further. It makes it easier when the ball is a little bit lower. But he has to take it high because he's about to get challenged. So it's a quick finish. It's really good finish.
Yeah, good anticipation, isn't it? Like you say, just typical centre-forward, loitering when defenders are trying to pick up a line and kind of get together. Strikers are allowed to just do as they wish almost, and he's in the perfect position there in case a mistake happens. That mistake happens and he pounces and puts his team 1-0 up very, very early on. This one, I felt this was a very well-worked set-piece. There's a couple of movements in this, a couple of Kanate and I think it's McAllister move people around. We see Kanate, he's going to drag 2 Brighton players away. Then we're going to see him come in the back here. Obviously, that's him headering the ball. No one's near him. This is criminal defending from Brighton. This is like debrief material. They will look at this and be very disappointed. And we'll see McAllister here. He just eases Belieber, who would either challenge for this ball, or if he doesn't challenge for that ball, he drops back onto that back post to protect it, and that's exactly when the ball goes in. So really well worked corner by Liverpool, but extremely poor defending by Brighton.
Kirkes on the goalkeeper as well, Seema. He was there was almost 3 actually, all blocking that area, so nobody could get to the back post. We've seen it so many times. Arsenal have been very good at it this season, but it was a well-worked one.
And what about Mo Salah's performance? We've been talking about him for most of the show. What did you make overall of his performance? Because he did get an assist for that second goal.
Yeah, I suppose he knocked a corner in, yeah. He did fine. He did quite well. He was quite unselfish at times. Put in a shift. He was running a lot more than in previous games. He would have been desperate to get on the score sheet, of course, but he did OK, absolutely. I mean, that's a good strike. You can't do much more than that. As you mentioned, he's knocked a corner in for the goal. So, yeah, a good day's work. Listen, when you win 2-0, the world looks rosy no matter what. But I think everybody at Liverpool will be pleased that he's back in the fray. They've won the game, clean sheet, and service has resumed in many ways.
I think one of the big positives for Mo Salah this afternoon for Liverpool, see there, I mean, he got himself in good positions, was wasteful at times with assists and shots, but body language for me was much more positive in a Liverpool shirt, and that is what you would want. You'd want that kind of reaction after falling out with your manager.
He does continue to make history as well. When you look at goal involvements for a single club, he now tops the table with 277. So that just outlines his contribution to Liverpool and to the Premier League. But let's talk about the full-time scenes, because we saw him on the pitch applauding the fans, tears in his eyes a bit emotional, but that might be because of everything that's happened this week. It could be because it might be potentially the last time we see him in a Liverpool shirt, or it might just be the emotion of a week. What do you think of this, Glenn?
I think tease is a stretch, Seema.
I think he looks emotional.
He does look slightly emotional, and it is kind of a goodbye, but it is a goodbye because he is going to AFCON. Let's put that into context. Yeah, we don't know what's going on in his mind. He might want to leave the football club. Who knows? There might be an agreement between the club and himself to play today and say goodbye in your own way. Who knows?
That's the thing. We don't know, do we? But what we can say is it was a really nice exchange between him and the fans.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a little bit of a question mark to, whether he was going to get that real good reception, let's say, from the fans, because a lot of people that you hear were taking the side of Arne Slot. Not that he was against it. It wasn't a duel, but it was Mo Salah against the club in many ways, wasn't it? And they were obviously taking the side of the club. So I thought there might be a few jeers, a few boos, but there was none of it today. And he'll be delighted with that as well. All that he's done for the club. It would be awful to finish his career at Liverpool, getting booed off. But that never happened. And hopefully that was, I'll see you in a month or so, because I'm off to represent my country. And as I say, normal service has resumed. Hopefully it's not a goodbye, I'm going, and I'm going for good.
We certainly hope so, because we love him in the Premier League and for Liverpool, of course. Liverpool in general today, let's talk about matters on the pitch. They're up to 6th in the Premier League table after what has been a really turbulent time on the pitch. What did you make of their performance overall, and what improvements did you see?
I thought Liverpool's performance was enough. That's what I would say. I think they were wasteful at times. I think they got into good positions. They could have put the game out of sight. I think they played better probably first half than second half. I think Brighton really came into it. And when you get a look at a balance of it, there will be a worry for Liverpool, I think, to a certain extent. The amount of opportunities they shipped to Brighton. Brighton were wasteful in front of goal. I think they had more expected goals, Brighton, and to lose the game 2-0 and have more expected goals tells a story that you weren't very clinical. So even though it's 2-0, it's a clean sheet. Mo Salah was back in the field, and it's all positive for Liverpool. I still think when you look deeper than just the result, there will be slight worries there for Liverpool.
Do you think the same?
Yes. Obviously, they're not playing at their very best. They have done in patches this season, but they've not been consistently very good. I do feel at the moment they need to score the first goal all the time, because they are quite vulnerable. They do concede chances. But, the confidence that gives you, keeping a clean sheet and winning another game after going away in Europe, playing a tricky game in Europe, that can only... this is a seriously good team. If everybody plays at their absolute peak in any club in the world, I still think Liverpool are the best team. I still do. Now, they're obviously not showing it regularly, but they won the league at a canter last year. And they've signed incredible players, invested for the future, and these players are going to come good. This is a team that aren't going to go away. These are going to be title contenders for the next 5 years. So as much as they're not playing very well, they are still a team that you've got to be fearful of. They still can turn it on. They've beaten Arsenal this year. They've beaten Aston Villa. They've gone away in Europe. They're doing well in the Champions League. I mean, everyone's talking about this disaster, but they're top 6 and flying high in the Champions. It's not a disaster just yet. Long way to go as well. So, and loads of time, loads of room for improvement. These new signings are only getting better. Look at Ekitike today. They're only going to get better.
And Verts, where do we think
he's only going to get better? He's so talented.
He's just
gradually, he is getting there. You see a couple of things he does, and it just leaves you, oh, my word. This guy could, if he can do more of it, then we're going to be watching something pretty special in the future. But again, He's going to get better. He's going to get used to it. He's going to get used to his teammates, the new league, etc. So lots to be positive about. Liverpool aren't purring at the moment, but they will be soon. There's no doubt about it. They will be soon.
And that's quite scary to the rest of the league. If they're not at their best and they're sixth, then when they are able to find that formula to just get ticking again as they did last season, they could be serious title contenders once again.
Yeah, they're a team in transition. They made a lot of signings in the summer, and it's getting those kind of players in and finding a concoction that suits the old and the new. But like Mike said, I think the talent in the squad, when you look at Liverpool on paper, they're an amazing group of players, and you sometimes think, how have they churned out the results they've churned out early on in this Premier League? True. It's like, and off the back of starting the Premier League really well as well. So once they grow in belief and in confidence, I think Mike was right. I think they'll be in and around the top of the Premier League for many years to come.
Howard, Robbie Earl, Rebecca Lowe. So he started on the bench. He came on in that first half. He had a few looks at goal, but nothing, Tim, went his way. Analyse the end, because you said to us pre-game, the game, yeah, great, can't wait, but I want to see what happens at the end. Just analyse those scenes.
I thought I saw tears. It might have been sweat. It might have been sweat. Yeah, it looks like everybody's happy. I'm surprised. I mean, I thought he played really well without getting, well, he had a few little looks, but yeah, you said a wry smile, and I wasn't expecting a wry smile from him. So
it's a turnaround, isn't it? From where we were last week, from where we were in midweek when he was left at home and he took a picture of himself by himself in the gym, to playing most of a game. How have we got to this?
I said to Ursula, actually, asked for his advice on it, because you showed at halftime him tracking back, and he was running back, he was charging around, he was doing all the things that apparently he wasn't doing before. Yeah. But I just don't see a world behind the scenes where he goes, after saying what he said and feeling that that he's been thrown under the bus, that he says, okay, Gaffer, I'm sorry, and I'm going to do everything you said. Like, I just don't see a world. So that's why I said to you, like, why then is he doing those things? Is it selfish? Is he trying to impress? Like, what's actually happening?
He doesn't want to make a mistake today. I mean, it's really difficult to read that situation unless you're in that dressing room or know what's going on. I don't think a decision's been made. I still think there's talk to be done. But what I do think today, Bex, in what we've seen, and he's come on and he played his part, could have well easily have got his goal. If they decide collectively that he is to move on, he hasn't gone through the back door. He's not played. If he hadn't played, if he hadn't got on the pitch, it's almost like he's been ushered out the club. At least he's gone through the front door. We've seen him. He played the game. He's cheered the Anfield crowd. Let's wait and see what happens. But I still will be surprised to see him in the shirt. Yeah,
no, and that's what I totally agree with you. I think there's another chapter here. But and I mentioned to you, Bex, Salah won then. In this whole battle, Salah won. He chucked his toys out. He said, I'm being treated...
Does he won if he leaves the football?
No. That's the grey area. If he leaves the football club, then he doesn't won. But if he's saying, I've been thrown under the bus, I've been the one to blame, and then he gets put back in today, I think he won. But yes, if he leaves, then no, he hasn't won.
Does he have another problem? I mean, he has a lot of problems, Arne Slot. Does he have another problem with Hugo Ekitike scoring goals, but Alexander Isak not?
Well, let's put the Mo Salah thing to one side and go there. I mean, Hugo Ekitike probably isn't going to get any headlines today, and he scored 2 goals. He's got 4 goals in his last 2 Premier League games and looks like their most threatening forward. Feel really sorry for this kid because he's come in for big money, he's delivered, and he's not probably had the sort of headlines that he should.
Well, if Mo Salah talks, we know he doesn't talk often, but when he does, he has something to say. So if he does...
Welcome back to Premier League Live. Lots to get through. So let's talk all about Liverpool against Brighton. Liverpool have the 1-0 lead, and it was a very, very fast start.
A very fast start indeed, yeah. I mean, I said at the start that first goal could be important here because Liverpool have been going to pieces this season once they get, a bump in the road, let's say. But it's a bit of a helping hand from Minte. He tries to clear the ball, but he knocks it into a dangerous position. Joe Gomez, very brave. I don't think that was intentional. It was more of a brave challenge. And then what a lovely finish. Touch and finish from Ekitike. He's got a couple of problems here because obviously he's got Lewis Dunk breathing down his neck. He wants to probably let it drop a little bit lower than that, but because Dunk is about to challenge him, he has to take it really, really early, and that's quite hard. When you take things early, they normally go higher because it needs to drop a little bit lower, but he almost touches and takes it in one movement there, Glenn.
Yeah, I think he catches that Bart Verbruggen just off, I think, probably balance slightly, because he catches it so early, the way he controls and hits it. But, I mean, from a Brighton point of view, the way to start a game away at Anfield, clearing it into that area of the pitch is really, really disappointing. And now it's an uphill battle, but a brilliant start from Liverpool and Ekitike. And I thought they were very good throughout that first half. Really good Liverpool.
Yeah, you could see a lot more energy. They played with a lot of intent. And look, we saw the fastest goal so far this campaign, 46 seconds. So let's talk about the man that we've all mentioned just a couple of times today, Mo Salah. Of course, he was talk of the town. He's been the talk of all the headlines and discussions over the last, few days. He started today on the bench. And we all had conversations, as you probably have at home, Liverpool fans, about when he might come on today, if we would see him. And actually, Arne Slot was forced to bring him on because Joe Gomez went off injured. It all kind of came together.
Perfectly. Yeah, as if it was the plan in many ways. But as soon as Joe Gomez went down, I thought, wow, that's Szoboszlai right back. It's going to be Mo Salah coming on. And lo and behold, there he was getting stripped. Now, I'm not sure what the viewers think around the world, but that's not Mo Salah passing the ball there.
Totally.
He normally shoots, but I think he's trying to be on best behaviour at the moment. That was a great move, and if that had nestled in the corner, it would have been amazing. But good to see him back. I'm sure Liverpool fans are pleased to see him.
And he received a very nice reception, because we weren't sure what the fans were going to do or how they were going to react, and very unselfish as well. Brighton, couple of chances for them.
Yes, a couple of chances. Pretty blunt, I think. Brighton is safe to describe them. We say this is early on. Minter, I said he was the main threat. Can't quite get enough curl on this shot. Worries the goalkeeper, but I think Alisson's got this covered, in all honesty. If that curls any further, that big right pause spreading out there. And this one was where Gomez makes this kind of underlapping run into the box and can't quite... I think we agreed, didn't we, more that he needed to lift that, didn't we?
It's not an easy skill, is it, when the ball's going away from you to lift it, but that's what he's got to try to do. Just sweeping it, helping it on, was never really going to score against a goalkeeper like Alisson. And then this was at the end of the half-seamer where, I mean, this is a yellow card, but I've seen people being given a red card for that. It's high, it's reckless.
I think if the referee brandishes a red card, I don't think anyone questions it here. I feel as though Gomez is very unlucky. It's extremely late, it's extremely high. The one thing I think may get away with, I don't think he quite catches him with his studs, but it's not pretty, and he's lucky to be entering the field of play in the second half.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at that second angle, it doesn't look great, does it? But yeah, he's still on the pitch, but I think he's got 5 yellows now, so he'll miss the next game.
I mean, what happens today now, and we're going to find out, that's the beauty of it, but what happens today when he warms up, when he comes on the pitch? Does he get booed? This is, emotions are still quite high, and strong, I would say, around Anfield. And that possibly could have been negated by just putting... I mean, time is a great healer, as we all know. If you just leave him out the squad and hopefully beat Brighton without him, then you've got lots of time to think of, right, what's the right situation here? Is Mo Salah going to apologise? Is he going to do this? Do we want to get rid of him? All of these things can happen over the fullness of time. But to throw him straight back in, he's going to go straight into the lion's den with the full wrath of a lot of people. We saw Trent Alexander-Arnold get booed. I mean, it could be the same today. So I thought he would be left out the squad, personally. I never expected him to start.
What do you think the reaction will be then? Because, as Mo just said, we all know what the Anfield crowd is like. We know what Liverpool supporters are like. They are fiercely passionate. And I think that Arne Slot, with this whole saga, has probably come out looking a little bit better than Mo Salah in most people's opinions. So what are the fans going to say? How are they going to react, do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be split. There will be voices in Liverpool that will boo him. And obviously, when you listen, boos sound a lot louder than cheers at times. So I'm sure there's going to be a little corner or a section of Liverpool fans that do boo him. I only think Arne Slot can come out of this well, because Mo Salah has got to be on his very, very best behaviour today, and that's when he enters the field of play, when he's warming up, whatever the context may be, he needs to perform. He's said his piece. Now it's time for him to perform when he does enter that field of play. I can understand him putting him in, because it kind of puts this whole news story to bed before AFCON, so when he comes back after AFCON, if he's still a Liverpool player, hopefully there won't be the circus around it.
Mo, you said before, look, you do understand and you can totally relate to his comments and why he is feeling the frustration he's feeling. Look, he's a world-class striker. He doesn't want to be benched. He doesn't want to be dropped. But Do you now understand exactly why he publicly said it, and why do you think he did? Was it more calculated, or do you think that, like, was there more thinking behind coming out and saying it to the media, or was it just off the cuff? Was it just he was asked questions and it was just a reaction?
Well, a lot of people have said this had been planned and whatever, but he wouldn't have known that he was going to be on the bench, let's say, for the Leeds game. And it's only when things transpired and he didn't get on, he's probably got frustrated. And he said, I don't think it was necessarily planned, meticulously planned at all. I just think that's how he felt, and he decided, right, I've had enough of this now. I'm gonna tell the world how I feel. Now, I get how he feels, and people have got to understand how these players that are Mo Salah's calibre think differently. The reason he is different to everybody else is not because he eats something different or runs differently or sleeps differently or it's because he thinks differently. He is an absolute champion of a person. He is so driven. He's like Cristiano Ronaldo. If you don't want those players, those match winners, in your team, then don't have them in the first place. But you can't bring players off like that. You know, you saw Jurgen Klopp bring him off a couple of times, and you see the hissy fit that right, you don't do it anymore. You just leave most. It's not worth the aggro. These people are meant to be staying on the pitch, meant to be winning games, meant to be winning trophies. And there's a lot of other players in the squad, and great players that play football, but they don't think like a Mo Salah. They don't think like a Cristiano. They're very selfish types of players, but they're the ones that win you everything. So it's a balancing act all the time. Now, if you want to go and drop him for 3 or 4 games, you're playing with fire. That's exactly what happens. What's just happened happens if you do that to Mo Salah or Cristiano Ronaldo or anybody of that ilk. So you've got to be prepared for that. And when it happens, then, like it or lump it, get rid of him. If you don't like it so much, if you don't want that to happen in the future. But this is what you're dealing with. And he's never been any different. And that's why he's won Liverpool a lot of trophies over the years. So, everybody can get their toys out the pram and say, oh, he shouldn't do that. But you can't have it both ways. You can't have one of the best players of all time in your team winning trophies every week for you and then complain when you upset him because he doesn't play.
Yep, you mentioned what he's done. 7 major trophies, top goal scorer for Liverpool, 188, 5th most appearances behind Carra, Gerrard, Hendo, Hyypiä. The stats go on and roll on. He is an absolute legend in his own right. But if you bring it to the here and now and this season, the whole team have been struggling. It's not just on one player. It's not just on Mo. But they've scored 24 goals in total. He scored 4 and he has 2 assists, and that's in 13 games. So does the manager, with those numbers and those stats in mind, have every right to say, well, I didn't drop you initially when things weren't going right, because it hasn't really been great from the start of the season. But now, actually, can you understand why he has chosen to tinker with the team a bit and see whether he can find a solution by dropping Salah?
Yeah, without doubt, he's looking for that right concoction. He wants to make his job is to win things with Liverpool. He's looking for that right concoction out on that field, and at the moment, it wasn't working. Whether Mo Salah was the problem, who knows? I think there's been a lot of issues in the Liverpool first team. I think, unfortunately for Salah, his view was very personal. I think when you're getting criticised, you hear that, but from an outside person, I can see that everyone in Liverpool's been criticised, the centre-backs, the new signings. So I can appreciate where Mo's coming from, but I also understand that everyone's been criticised. As far as Arne Slot's concerned, I feel as though he's done the right thing, the way he's managed it. I think the way he managed him last year as well to get him to sign the contract. I think, like we said, he's come out looking very good in this situation.
I think you're right, Glenn. I think everybody has been criticised. That's fair enough. But from Mo Salah's point of view, it's like, all right, but criticised is one thing, but being dropped is another. And Virgil van Dijk's not been dropped. Konate's not been dropped. All these, you're not dropping. So I'm taking, and that's where he said, obviously, thrown under the bus, because, yes, equal criticism, but you can take criticism. You don't want to be dropped. And he's the one that's been dropped.
I think, unfortunately for Mo, there's other people that can play in that position, whereas there's no out-and-out centre-backs. Is there left at the football club? You put Gomez in there, but he's playing right-back. It's kind of like... I think if he did have options at centre-back, I think Konate or Van Dijk, whichever, might have had a rest. He might have taken them out of the team, but unfortunately more that there's more people in those positions that can fill in for him, and that is really unfortunate for him, and I can understand his frustration. Listen, he's a Liverpool legend, and he will be forever, but Mo will back me up. Football waits for no one. And if you're not producing, you're on trial and you're being judged every single time you step foot on the football field.
To just talk about your point there as well, Sima, in terms of, yes, finding a new balance because they're not doing well, so let's try put Mo Salah on the bench. That's all well and good. But if you ask Arne Slot, even at that point, what's going to be your team towards the end of if you're playing in the Champions League final, if you're playing the biggest game in the Premier League, you know, at the end of the season, who's going to be? He would definitely envisage Mo Salah being in the team. I mean, they signed him on a new 2-year contract. They didn't sign him for the future. This is the here and now. Keep winning us trophies, mate.
Did they expect it, though, to be this?
They didn't. And
he hasn't quite been performing to the level.
But nobody has.
Nobody has.
Nobody has. And he'll look at it thinking, well, it was all going swimmingly. You know, like, the only difference this season is you've signed a few different players. And I'm getting the blame. Yeah. Hang on a minute. We were all doing well. We were all winning everything all the time. And now you're signing millions of pounds worth of players and they can't lace my boots. They will never get near my numbers. And I'm the fall guy. It's like, I've just won 7, 8 years of trophy after trophy after, and I have a few bad games and you drop me. Well, these aren't setting the house on, you know, setting the world on fire either. I mean, it's like, why am I the fall guy? I totally get how he thinks. I totally get how he thinks.
Would you have been so public, though, if it was you? Because I'm sure in your
that's
career...
the point. That's the whole problem.
Yeah.
You can think all this, and I would have thought that. Glenn would have thought that. You know, this is harsh, but you cannot say it. And I mentioned it the other day. You look at someone like Andy Robertson, he must be feeling exactly that. Hang on, this lad called Kirkes has come in. Yeah. He's not playing well. I've won everything. Every time I get asked to play, I'm playing fantastically well. But Andy Robertson is a professional. He pats him on the back. He's a great leader. He's a great pro. He says nothing. And all of a sudden, everyone thinks he's a dream, a model professional because of that. And he is.
But he's not.
But you won't win the league just with Andy. You will win it with Mo Salah, and that's the difference. You've got to treat people differently. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson with Eric Cantona, great example.
We saw it with Ronaldo, didn't we?
Yeah, you get rid of a lot of people, but if someone's going to win you the league, you sort of like, it's rules for some and not for others, and that's what you're dealing with. And Liverpool have chosen to deal it like this. This are the repercussions. I'm not saying Mo Salah's right, far from it. I think he was wrong to say it, but it's a quite a natural happening, let's say, what's gone on over the last week or so.
OK, do you know what? I think we could spend the whole hour talking about this because it really is fascinating. There are arguments for both, but Mo Salah does start on the bench today. Let's look at the full team news and bring you right up to date with the current state of play. So, for Liverpool against Brighton, there are 2 changes to Liverpool from that Leeds draw, with Gomez and McAllister in for Bradley and Gakpo. And as for Brighton, 2 changes from that West Ham draw, with Crudo and Hinchelwood in for Dukopia and Welbeck. I don't know why Welbeck has been dropped, but possibly tactical or maybe rotation there. We'll get Glenn's thoughts in a moment. But this Liverpool side, they really need to go out and win today, surely, at home. In everything that's happened, they'll want to get those 3 points. Well,
of course they'll want to, but they're not in great form. They actually seem to start games reasonably well. And then, all of a sudden, if something goes wrong in-game, they seem to fall to pieces. And that's a sign to me of confidence, of, oh, no, here it goes again. So I expect Liverpool to be in total control for the sort of first 15, 20 minutes, and they really need to score in that time and gain that confidence. When they score first, they rarely drop points. They've got a great record this season, but when they concede first, they cannot win a game and everything just falls to pieces. So they need a good start. They need to build that confidence, and once they do, then hopefully they can keep that going. But Brighton are a funny team, aren't they? I mean, they can beat anybody on their day.
They can. Actually, funny enough, looking at the table from this time last year, they're in exactly the same position, give 1 point. There's just 1 point better off than this stage last season, exactly the same place. How do you assess the team's performance so far this season?
I think it's a team that could get better and better. They signed a lot of players a couple of transfer windows ago, spent a lot of money on potential and on talent, and they're still getting to grips with the Premier League. They're still finding their feet. They're still not the finished article, so that they're growing as a team. When I get a look at that side, obviously no Danny Welbeck, which is a disappointment, but I think that's an age thing, just balancing games. The main attacking threat is Minter on that right-hand side, and I think Mo's right. First goal at Anfield is crucial. Whereas Brighton, it's been the perfect build-up. No one has
Absolutely.
spoken about them. They've been able to get on with their business. All the noise has been about one man.
And also, they do not want that one man on the pitch at all. They're happy with Salah on the bench. The question now, though, is do you think we're going to see him? Will he come on? If so, how long for?
Well, there's no point putting him on the bench if you've not got an intention to play him. I mean, and that was probably one of the problems as well. If he had come on against Leeds, he would still be very annoyed, but I'm not sure he would have said anything. But against Leeds, they were drawing 2-2. They drew 3-3 in the end. But, I mean, they really needed him.
Yeah.
And to not bring on your winning, your match winner, your biggest match winner in the squad, that was probably the thing that just blew his head off in the end. And he felt like he had to say, yeah, but now he's on the bench, he's absolutely got every chance of coming on. And I'd be surprised, actually, if he didn't come on today.
Glenn?
I think it depends which way the game goes. If Liverpool, if the game's in the balance, if Liverpool are behind, I fully expect to see more Salah. If Liverpool are 3-0 up, now I think that is a big question if he comes on then. And if he does come on then, is it a swan song?
Indumentaria, la Kings Limited Gold Edition, solo hay 50 unidades de todos los equipos y también puede ser vuestra entrando en kingsleague.pro, así que es los datos a tener en cuenta en cuanto a indumentarias. Gran partido, Gonzalo, Gerard, el que tenemos por delante.
Ojo, ojo, estilo La Bombonera, estadio de River.
Hostia, más minutos de retraso en el inicio, ¿eh? Ya tenemos lío.
Lo llamó Edo, dibujando la parábola sobre la banda derecha, donde en el vértice del área aparece Nadir. ¡Nadir para adentro! ¡Gol! De Nadir Lua, que tiene una facilidad pasmosa. Encuentra a Pablo, qué balón para Nadir para el segundo. Se zafa de Cócera, es un golazo. ¡Es un golazo! Señoras, señores, bienvenidos al show de Nadir Lua. Pibe.
El mejor.
Vamos
Haciendo
a ver.
espionaje, ¿eh?
Vaya mierda dado, pibe. Va, ya te puedes ir a la cúpula a comer, va.
Tiene que salir Cócera para entregar hacia el centro. Se la regala a Coy, le puede pegar Coy para adentro.
Vaya chicha, nano.
¡Gol! De Porcinos Óscar Coy. Ah, pues sí.
Pero es que, señores,
Pero te lo dije, Romero.
Tenemos, comodín, ¿cómo lo usamos? Penalti.
penalti.
Será penalti.
Vamos, Cuni.
Puede meter en el partido a Cuni. Jordi para adentro, ¡qué golazo!
¡Guau!
¡Dios!
¡Gol!
Eso, dale.
Vamos con Nadir Lua y con Laura Vizcaíno.
Pues sí, Nadir, 2 goles, victoria y a cuartos, enhorabuena.
Sí, sabíamos que el partido iba a ser muy importante porque veníamos de una muy mala dinámica. El equipo ha estado bien, sufríamos defensivamente y creo que hemos estado muy juntitos. Y nada, primer objetivo cumplido.
Os espera Science, rival complicado, imagino.
Sí, empatamos contra ellos y en shootout perdimos. Ha quedado segundo por algo. Nada, concentración, confianza con nosotros mismos y intentar ganar para el sábado estar en el Wizzing.
Os lo veremos mañana, mucha suerte.